Hi, I'm Charles. My job was eliminated by AI after many years helping Fortune 500 clients solve transcoding software problems. Now I'm turning the tables by learning the power of AI and helping people over 40 learn along with me. Let me show you how breaking prompts into chunks can greatly improve your results. The best way to use AI is by breaking tasks into smaller steps called chunking, and I'll show you how to do that using a sample prompt to plan for retirement. So let's dig in.
Well, we're going to talk about chunking today. The concept of chunking is basically just breaking down your prompts for an AI model. It doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT, Claude, whatever it is, this concept applies across all of them. So let's, for an example, let's just say I gave you a 500-page document to read, and I asked you in the next 3 minutes, I need you to read this 500-page document and give me a 20-page summary on it. Difficult, right? So the same concept applies with the AI models. They can, of course, read faster, but if you give it a huge amount of text like that, it doesn't handle it as well as if you chunk it down into well organized bite-sized pieces. And that's what we're going to look at today. It's called chunking. So each of the models has its own limitations as far as like the context window. That's what they call the amount of information that it can take in at one time and handle. So we're going to look at that. Even if you stay within that context window, you can still get better answers if you chunk your prompt into bite-sized pieces. Chunking improves retrieval accuracy. So instead of sifting through a bunch of irrelevant, sometimes convoluted text that we put in, and I'm guilty of this too, the model will pull from your precise information that you've put into different chunks, and that will make your answers much better. Also, if the AI model has a problem with one of the chunks and messes up its response, you can just rerun that chunk as opposed to having to rerun your entire prompt. So we're going to chunk by meaning and not by size. We're going to use logical boundaries, sections, chapters, topics, and you want to maintain overlap so it doesn't lose its place. If your prompt is under 5,000 words, you can leave it as it is. If it's between 5,000 and 30,000 words, you need to chunk it into sections, summarize, and then stitch them together. And if it's over 30,000 words, then you need to chunk it, summarize it, and then synthesize across the summaries. Okay, so let's do an exercise here. Let's do a practical chunking exercise to give you an idea how this works. Okay, so let's say someone over 40 is planning for retirement income, but they feel overwhelmed by scattered data, pension estimates, 401k balances, Social Security info, monthly expenses, health costs, etc., and they want to use AI to help them solve this. And if they dump all of this into the AI in one gigantic prompt, it's gonna blur details. It may get some things wrong. It may make up numbers. Okay, so here's an example of a bad prompt. It's vague. It doesn't really give enough information for the model to work with. So we're going to change that. Okay, so let's break this into chunks. We're going to do the first prompt. We're going to summarize the assets. So I'm going to grab some assets here. All right, here's our first chunk. And this gives it more information to work with. Give it a second prompt. Here's our second prompt. the information for this. Here's our third prompt. Now we'll use one final prompt. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your ideas about other things you'd like me to go over in future videos. Next time you're building a prompt, try this chunking method and see if it works better for you.